Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and I hope everybody is having a great day. I uploaded earlier, but hey, we ranged on in the time frames of the day. We seen, the indices close a little bit today, and we did see some volatile price action happening throughout the entire market. We'll most likely trade a little bit sideways in a boring fashion, probably until Thursday, until we see the monthly close, whatever that will bring us in terms of volatility. But overall, I'm just kind of waiting for the market to really kind of validate a move to the upside or downside. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking about HBAR in this video, but I do just want to address a little bit of some concern with HBAR. So, as you guys know, I was watching for us to kind of go lower on Hedera, but we did hit about 30 cents, almost flat. It was like 30 and then like 3. So overall, when we're talking about the levels that HBAR has hit, it's basically major support zones, and it didn't really break any key technicals. It dipped a little bit below my, original point of view on the 30 cents. It was like 30.5 cents. Around that nice little, I think it's the 50-day MA, I believe. I don't have the chart open, but overall, I think that it's holding fairly strong levels, and we're going to be addressing that maybe in this video or a later video today. So overall, I do want to talk to you guys about some innovation happening at HBAR. But before we jump into this video, I just want to say, if you guys are an HBAR Barian, and if you guys do like HBAR content on the daily, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Definitely subscribe, turn notifications on, and also like this video if you guys do like HBAR content. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about SKUX. Basically, they partnered with Hedera today to bring trust, transparency, and fraud-free transactions to consumer offers and settlements. Now, this isn't, for most people, this doesn't sound like something incredible or whatever the case may be, right? But this is actually a fintech company, and with Hedera, they're really going to scale, as we do see even here, right? The Hedera Network X potentially enables SKUX's platform to deliver computational trust and transparency at scale to the entire retail offers ecosystem, including retailers, e-commerce businesses, consumer brands, and marketing agencies. And we also see here the platform running on the Hedera Public Distributed Ledger Network will seamlessly track and record all transactional data as a secure hash on the Hedera Public Ledger. So this is actually very interesting. This could also be very big, especially long term. They are also bringing SKUX and SKUPay offers onto the Hedera network as well, which is very interesting. And this is because HBAR is very high scalable. It's also very cheap, and it also allows a lot more efficiency, scalability in regards to a lot of these areas that SKUX is really going to try to empower. Now, we also read a lot about what these, partners do, how they work, but a lot of people don't think that there's big names behind SKUX, but there is. And who are they, right? Well, it's very simple. Check out the advisors board, right? We do see P&G, Walmart, JP Morgan, CNBC. I mean, guys, this is huge, right? Especially when we're talking about, major companies, and we're talking about, Fortune 10 companies as well. Walmart always comes up in comparison with HBAR. So who knows? Maybe at some point in time, Walmart will be a GC member. That would be massive, as well as we did see even the news in regards to Litecoin. So I think that could help pump it. We already know that the original move on HBAR to the all-time high previously at 46 cents was due to Google partnering with Hedera. So maybe, who knows? This could be pretty interesting overall. But I do just want to talk to you guys about some more things. Now, today we're going to actually be talking about MTech. So you guys already know, we already talked about MTech multiple times, but I just want to connect some major dots here. So we do see here, it's coming from Danny Ide. He's basically quoting this annual meeting. Now we do see here, we're looking at Hashgraph. Really excited at this stage to really hopefully talk to the Federal Reserve too. We've been talking to a few Federal Reserve banks around the world about what a digital cash infrastructure should look like. But also, there are other technologies out there that have different approaches to mining and no mining at all. That's why I mentioned we're looking at different technologies like Hashgraph, as far as how do you provide tokenization without mining as well. So overall, yeah, I mean, when we're talking about MTech, central banking, we're talking about the Federal Reserve, we're talking about Hedera, Hashgraph, a lot of them do come up in conversation. But I just want to talk to you guys a lot about MTech. So first off, not a lot of people know, but MTech already testified before the U.S. House of Representatives. This goes all the way back to June. Now, I remember actually talking to you guys about this back in June as well. I did a video on this during that time as well, and I talked to you guys about how big of a connection this actually is to the CBDCs of even the U.S. and pretty much going around the entire world as well. But we do see here, to address the challenges of today and capture the opportunities of tomorrow in the era of CBDC, or central banks, digital coins, right? Central banks should strategically deploy an actionable sandbox framework to solve key challenges and conduct safe innovation in order to test those CBDC concepts. Now, excuse me, sorry. Overall, when we're talking about digital cash and we're talking about CBDCs, I think that this could be the step that we actually really need to take in order to utilize, currencies or even technology that could reinvent the wheel for a lot of these major companies. Also, when we talk about major companies that will utilize this technology, that will pretty much be on board with this technology, it's pretty much every single company out there. When we talk about Fortune 500, we talk about Fortune 10, all of those companies involved will support a digital cash infrastructure because it allows for a lot of money to be saved on fees. It allows for a lot more efficiency and scalability, as well as a lot more high-grade security. We're going to be talking about security as well in this video. Now, in regards to MTech, we also look back all the way to August of this year as well, where we do see here MTech and Global Info Swift Consulting partnered to provide capacity building on CBDC, regulatory sandbox, and open banking for Nigerian financial regulators and financial services providers, right? Now, we do see this is actually pretty cool in regards to what they are actually going to be doing in regards to that open banking as well as kind of financial inclusion. That's a big pain point that they're trying to solve as well. Now, they're also talking about modernizing the central bank sector entirely, but we do see here this means attracting all financial services regulatory agencies and all financial services providers from commercial banks to fintechs, which this is huge, right? And this is all partnered with Hashgraph as well. We already know that MTech is working with Hedera Hashgraph, so this could be very interesting in the long-term aspect as well in regards to CBDCs and even the future regulatory framework of the fintech zone. So we also see here MTech and the Bank of Ghana. Now, this is going all the way back to February of this year as well. They also partnered to deploy modern central sandbox to accelerate innovation as well. This goes all back to financial inclusion as well. And we even see here, through this project, would like to reaffirm its commitment to addressing the financial inclusion needs of the unbanked and underserved persons and businesses. So we are moving very fast with this sort of innovation, and MTech seems to be the face of it all. And they are already working with Hedera Hashgraph, like I said, and also Microsoft. So even when we go back to this and we say, what if Walmart is the Fortune 10 company? But okay, well, what if Microsoft is as well? Like, what if Microsoft is the big leading name for Hedera Hashgraph? What if Walmart and also Microsoft partner with them? There's so many what ifs, and there's so many speculation behind a lot of things in regards to Hedera Hashgraph, but a lot of things are coming to fruition that we've been talking about for a very long time. So who knows, right? But anyways, I want to talk to you guys about this as well. MTech launches as the fintech of modern central banking innovation. Now, this goes back to MTech's launch in December of 2020. We see here our ability to help the leaders at central banks operationalize monetary and economic policy promotes multi-stakeholder collaboration and innovation, such as exposing CBDC test APIs for industry testing. This is why MTech is the fintech of modern central banking. Now, we do see that central banks today hold $9 trillion in paper cash. In digitizing paper cash or paper currency with CBDCs, they are basically able to create unprecedented liquidity that benefits small businesses and individuals while maintaining the central bank money as the anchor of robust and competitive financial sectors. We do see here, now this is very interesting. MTech provides central banks an action-ready toolset for new and inclusive monetary policy and the guardrails for efficient transfer of an estimated $90 trillion in cash payments. $90 trillion in cash payments. Okay, I'm just going to say right now, okay, when we're talking about MTech, I think that this is the biggest problem, right? A lot of people don't realize how big some of these companies or some of these partnerships actually are for Hedera. We know for a fact that Hedera Hashgraph has already been named in the Project New Dawn project as the trust layer aspect. Also, we talk about interoperability provided by Hedera Hashgraph. And when we're talking about $90 trillion in cash payments as the main tool for this, guys, this is what I'm talking about, right? When people are worried about small moves, you know, we see people putting $1,000 into an asset on Monday. By Friday, it's worth $10,000. People get very impatient. People grow very bored of this market. They start selling something like HBAR before the real moves even happen. This is, okay, first off, I'm just going to say right now, I get it. All right, I understand. You know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you're waiting to cash out and, you know, you want to buy this, you want to buy that, you want to do this, you want to do that. Patience is a virtue. And I'm just going to say right now, if you invest it 9 months ago, even a year ago, and you were growing impatient of HBAR, all right, even if you invested just a month ago and you're growing impatient of HBAR, learn patience. Learn that this is a massive project. We're talking about enterprise-grade use cases throughout the fintech and financial zones that will govern pretty much everyday use ability. We're talking about $90 trillion in cash payments. We're talking about CBDCs. We're talking about cross-border payments. We're talking about SME lending. We're talking about all of this stuff that will be built around MTech and also even with Hedera Hashgraph. Now, obviously, I get it. Hedera Hashgraph is not the only asset out there. I get that. But we do see down here, right? CBDCs could change all financial relationships according to the latest Deutsche Bank Wealth Management CIO report from September 2020. We're talking about increased transactional speed, security and transparency, and more effective monetary policy are key benefits of CBDCs. When we're talking about how big that could be, you know, or even become at some point in time, you know, we're talking about a massive innovative technology that could really disrupt a lot of these zones, these capital markets, these financial markets, the banking sector. This will reinvent the wheel entirely. Now, we do see here, the firm is currently engaged with several central banks and working with the leading cloud provider, Microsoft. Now, I just want to say, okay, to deploy pilots in the coming months. Now, when we come over to MTech, okay, and I know that I showed you guys this so many times, but for those that are watching this video right now and saying, well, you know, MTech, yeah, maybe they are, maybe they're not working with Hedera Hashgraph. No, they are. They're right here. Hedera Hashgraph. We also see Microsoft, IBM. Okay, when we're talking about these companies, when we're talking about the future of what MTech is going to be doing, it's disrupting trillion-dollar markets. It's going to innovate and reinvent the wheel for financial inclusion, financial stability, and just overall allow for a much more efficient way of everyday transactional data, transactional flows, and payments entirely. And you cannot put a price tag on something like that, especially considering the fact that when we're talking about central banks and we're talking about the banking sector, there's so much money in that market. So if I had to give somebody the best advice that I could give them, I would say this, okay? If you do not have patience right now, if you are growing impatient holding HBAR while seeing other coins pump, you know, whatever, and you have your doubts, go ahead, okay? Get out of HBAR, go to those other projects. I just want you to know that right now, for what Hedera Hashgraph is doing, okay, everybody's blinded by these other coins. They're blinded by all of these major assets. Oh, ADA, they're launching smart contracts. It's going to pump so hard. I can't wait to get into it. Solana, it's doing major moves. I don't want to miss the boat. Let me just sell and get into that. I see a lot of people getting out of projects like HBAR just because it hasn't moved significantly. We see other altcoins doing significant moves, and here's our lovely friend HBAR sitting stable. But you gotta realize that HBAR, it's almost like they are building Rome, okay? And you already know the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. HBAR is building the biggest innovative technology out there, and it is so far ahead of the game from all of these assets that are in the top 50, even in the top 5. HBAR is the future. And just as they said, hello future, in terms of their motto, we will welcome HBAR into everyday life. We will be utilizing HBAR on a massive scale, and it's not going to take too much longer. Overall, when we talk about this price, when we talk about this bull market, bear market, yeah, sure, we are here for ROI percentages. We are here to make money, and we will do that. We will do that by the end of this year. But the big question here is, how long do you plan on holding HBAR? Because I plan on holding it long term as well. Don't get me wrong. I will trade it. I will sell it at near the top and rebuy at the bottom during the bear market, but I will still hold a decent percentage of it. So overall, I just want to let you guys know that HBAR is changing the game. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are. It's beautiful with us, but Nick, peace out, guys.